to start rebranding our community and provide the tools and resources that we need to succeed.
So what did you see in the community that made you feel as if it needed some type of rebrand?
Lack of jobs that we have in the inner city, and also the lack of resources. We can expect job opportunities, trainings, our food pantry that we service in the Brown Deer area, and also other resources for health and mental support.
So for you guys, your commitment to offering jobs in the community, are you looking for people from that community to be able to serve the community as well?
Yes, sir, we are.
Why is that so important to you?
We want to rebuild our neighborhoods and also rebuild the families that we have in the inner city as well.
That is so fantastic. And again, one last time, can you tell people if they are looking for resources where they can go to with Resources and Beyond?
Yes, they can visit us at Facebook at Resources and Beyond, and also visit us at resourcesandbeyond.org.
Again, thank you so much for joining us here today, Sensore. And this has been your Associated Bank Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Resources and Beyond right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. A former UW Eau Claire employee who claimed she was fired from her job within a campus diversity office because of her race receives a six-figure settlement with the universities of Wisconsin. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reports Rochelle Hoffman will receive $265,000 from the UW Board of Regents as part of the settlement. Hoffman, who is white, claims she endured months of hostility and faced questioning over her legitimacy to lead a department supporting students of color. The UW system declined to comment on its decision to settle. Adding more police officers downtown is just one solution for curbing recent violence in Milwaukee. Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
Police are increasing enforcement of juvenile curfew and prohibitions of guns being carried within 1,000 feet of schools.
Other strategies include deploying drones, new hours for food truck operators on Water Street, traffic changes, and using a mobile booking site to assist with processing tickets and arrests. Yet another setback for a Sunderman stabber's conditional release. Community members in Sun Prairie are protesting after the location of Morgan Geisler's group home placement was unintentionally released. Geisler's defense attorney Anthony Cotton says he has zero concerns about Geisler being in the community.
She's going to be on GPS monitoring. She's going to be on home confinement. She's going to be treated by psychiatrists, evaluated by social workers. There's not a concern with Morgan being in the community. 3 doctors unanimously agreed with that. 2 different judges uniformly agreed with that.
Geisler and Anissa Wire were found not guilty by reason of mental defect for stabbing their classmate Peyton Leitner in Waukesha in 2014. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. If you're looking for Pop-Off Friday, it's not coming. Well, it kind of will be, but it won't be. You know what I'm saying? We still talking about W.E.B. Du Bois, the book, The Souls of Black Folk. And we're going to go over chapter 10 today. Now, the title of chapter 10 is Of the Faith of the Fathers. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you get your book ready. And when you're done, just kind of go back through the book and read it from cover to cover. The song stuff I'm not really into. You know, I'm trying to take it easy. It's Friday, so, you know. I got my soda, my coffee. Ate a hot dog. But I only eat half because I don't eat as much bread as I used to. So whatever I eat that has bread on it, I eat half of it. Depending on, like I just stopped eating bread on hot dogs. I mean, on hamburgers altogether. I just take it off and chop it up and, you know, cut it up and put some mustard and hot sauce and. Now, is it me or do black people just love hot sauce? Like, what is that? But I digress. Also want you to remember, don't forget to text the word chapter to 833-212-1017 and get the 5 books listed that we talk about. We talked about it last Tuesday, and then we kind of went through and covered it. Remember, text and data charges may apply, so we ain't paying for that. That's going to be on you. You got to pay for that. Okay? All right, it's Friday. X is here. We got music. We got everything going on. Anybody who want to, you know, what you want to hear, hit me up on the YouTube chat or the talking text line at 833-212-1017, and we'll see what's going on. All right? Is that good? All right. Let's get to it. Class is in session. Chapter 10 of the Faith of the Fathers. Now, we talk about, look at that, y'all done blew up the YouTube chat already. I can't do it. I can't do it. Let me see who was first. Quanda, of course. I'm doing kids' hair for back to school Monday, so here's my homework. Quanda said, when Du Bois talks in chapter 10 about stepping into that Southern revival, I can almost see it dim light. Voices, I can see, I'm assuming she was trying to say the dim light. Voices rising, the preacher pouring the whole soul into every word, breaks down into every word. He breaks it down into 3 parts, the preacher, the music, and the frenzy. But it's more than just a church service. It's a lifeline. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what the church did for black people. It didn't serve as just a place to have faith in God and we love Jesus and go and all that. But it was a place where information was gathered, information was shared, information was stored. Historical documents, who married who died, all that. Back then, the church was the heart of the black community. It was the school, the political voice, the safe space. Safe space, get out of here. I reject the phrase safe space, totally and utterly. But anyway, I digress. It's a lifeline. Back then, the church was the heart of the community and the anchor when everything outside those doors tried to break you down. Once again, reflecting it to my life, it wasn't in a church, but I know what it's like to need a place, a purpose, and a source of strength. So Quanda, you're telling me that the church gives you that, but you wasn't in a church. Anyway, being a teenage mom, supposed to be another statistic, but I walked across that. And Essie's in. She said, I survived 2 marriages, including one with abuse, pushed myself through nursing school, kept going, got my barber and cosmetic license, and now I'm in and then it goes to hospital day by day and helping post-op cosmetic recovery clients on the side.
Just like the church gave those people a reason to stand tall, I find my own preacher in my moment. Yeah. Yeah, but, well, in the end, it's got to be you. Because the church ain't coming to you. You got to go to the church. Right? I get it. Thank you for sharing that, Kawanda. Life ain't easy. And people need to understand that. And sometimes when you lose everything you have, all you have is faith. W.E.B. Du Bois tracks the evolution of religion in the African-American life through slavery and Reconstruction and into the early 20th century. Chapter 10 of The Soul of Black Folks, he titled it, Of the Faith of the Fathers. In addition to offering consolation and a sense of belonging, he portrays Black religious life as an essential institution that influenced Black resistance, Black culture, Black identity. So what happened today? And I know Al going to jump in because Al always got something to say about religion. In his opening statement, he affirms that Black Americans are profoundly spiritual, even in Africa. Not as Christians, we were very spiritual, claiming that the Negro is a religious animal. Christianity in particular, he contends, evolved into a means of resistance as well as a haven during slavery. And that's something that Kawanda talked about when she picked that up. By creating a theology of freedom, justice, and hope, the enslaved transformed Christianity into something wholly original to them, enabling them to withstand the cruelty of their situation. The Negro Church, the most potent and long-lasting organization in Black communities, sprang from this shift in Black religious expression. Now, I would argue that along with the church, even though many people may reject it, Prince Hall Masons were there. And by the way, they're celebrating their 100th year here in the state of Wisconsin. So, but I digress. The preacher, the music, the spirituals, and the church are the three main legacies of the slave religion that he names. The preacher is the most significant of these, and according to Du Bois, in rural and underdeveloped areas, the Black preacher was like the president, y'all. Those are my words. He said the Black preacher is frequently the only easily accessible intellectual presence in addition to serving as a moral compass and community leader, and that the preacher commands respect and shapes public opinion in the Black community because of his political, social, and spiritual influence. I do not think a preacher should have political influence. That's just me. I do not think it is his or her place to have spiritual influence in my politics. My politics are my politics. The second heritage consists of church music. We all know about that. Also known as sorrow songs or spirituals. Adapted to the condition of slavery originating from African-American musical tradition, Du Bois hails these as genuine manifestations of agony and optimism. He said these songs are artistic, emotional expressions of a people pursuing independence and dignity, not just religious hymns. So if you hear, and if you've heard many times, slaves use songs that they sung to pass messages to people when they were going to leave the plantation and flee up north. The actual Negro Church is the third pillar, what we know it as today. Du Bois observes that the church became the center of Black life, a place for self-governance, education, social organization, and cultural preservation when political power and social equality were lacking. I wouldn't say lacking, I would say non-existent. He is not, however, uncritical. He notes that certain churches experience internal strife and materialism, particularly as they became wealthier, more hierarchical. You know, folks wanting to be the chair of the deacon board, and I want to be a mother, and I wasn't voted in as a mother, and I want to be the assistant pastor, and on and on and on. He cautions that in the absence of sound moral and intellectual leadership, the church may succumb to exploitation, emotionalism, or superstition. And I think in some instances, in Black America today, that is what we have become today. We have succumbed to exploitation, emotionalism, and superstition. While it's so very few of the churches, it's there nonetheless. So in spite of these reservations, Du Bois affirms, and this is the key for today, faith is nevertheless powerful and necessary in the Black experience. So those of you that are lacking, those of you that are looking, those of you that are wondering why it's not working, it is because you do not have faith in your life. Now, I'm saying that. You can disagree with it. You got 833-212-1017. You got the YouTube chat. You got however you want to holler. He sees the church, and I see the church, as a vital component of Black development and survival, fostering values of spiritual power, justice, and fraternity. In the eyes of a people who were denied, get this, full humanity, full citizenship, by all of society, including some of our own, the church was a confirmation of who we are. In closing, Du Bois stresses that any comprehension of the African American experience has to and must address the spiritual aspect. It has to address faith. It has to address the church. According to him, religion shapes how we look at history, how we look at resistance, and how we look at identity as a people, rather than merely a personal matter of conviction. The one thing Black people need to understand as we talk about this today is we need to come to grips that regardless of what book you look at, the Quran, the Holy Bible, whatever it is, you need to understand that we need to come to grips with our divine value.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee Public Schools are getting ready to welcome students back to their classrooms for the 2025-26 school year. The first day of class for Milwaukee Public Schools is Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 for all students. If you haven't enrolled your child yet, now is the time. Go to mpsmke.com/enroll MPS or please visit the Department of Student Services between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They will assist you with the enrollment process and meet any educational need you have. They look forward to seeing you and thank you for choosing MPS.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, August 14th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Jackson Park, Picnic Area 2, located at 3500 West Forest Home Avenue, and at the Basilica of St. Josephat, located at 2333 South 6th Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments while supplies last. Brought to you by Common Council President Jose G. Perez and Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So we started talking about whether or not faith is going to play a part in how we deal with, function as a people. And one of the things we need to come to understand in terms of what Du Bois was talking about is there's been an evolution of religion from slavery until today. He stops where it's natural for him because he's at the first part of the 20th century and lived a good life up until 1963. He passed away on the day of the March on Washington. And they paused at the March on Washington when they found out that W.E.B. Du Bois had passed away. And they took a moment of silence. We have to understand that there's consolation, there's a sense of belonging in the black church. Regardless of what anybody says of how the black church has changed, the black church has changed because the people that went to church changed. The church has always been there. Now, some of our white brothers and sisters tend to cringe when we say black church, but when you don't understand when you don't understand the rhythm of the black church, and not in terms of dance or music, when you don't understand the power of understanding and knowing that our slave great-grandparents and grandparents made it through, the only reason they made it through was because of the church. If we were going to fight, we went to the church to find out how. If we needed culture, education, how to read, how to write, arithmetic, we went to the black church. When we lost who we were, when some of us in the 50s and 60s were able to get those jobs and make that money and live upper class and live middle class, one of the things that was always a staple in every black household was one's identity through the black church. And yes, I teach at a school, Concordia University, that's Missouri Synod Lutheran. And yes, Martin Luther was the one who started what we now know as Protestantism by nailing his 99 Theses to the Catholic Church door. But that doesn't rise one denomination above another. What makes one a sound church, a Christian church, are your tenets of faith. What do you believe in? But let's go for giggles. Let's go for everybody believes the same thing. In order to be what's called a mainstream denomination, you have to have certain pillars, certain tenets. You have to believe certain things. And after that, unless it reaches certain benchmarks, it's not considered blasphemous. It's just different. Some people will argue, you're wrong, but that's okay. As long as it doesn't materially change what it means to be a Christian. The culture, the fight, the ability to come together was all done through the church. I dare say, I'll even go out on a limb, I dare say every single black family, regardless of who it is, how it is, or how old it is, has at least one person that they know of in their family that goes to church. And I'm not meaning the fire, I don't mean the fire and brimstone type person. I don't mean the person that, you know, everybody gonna die and go to hell. Not that person. I mean a person that is diligent and faithful and goes to church. And one of the things W.E.B. Du Bois talks about in chapter 10 of the Faith of the Fathers is that we were able to make it. And that is why he called it an essential institution. And when the church falls away, so does the community. And so we keep trying to figure out reasons and ways. I found it interesting. Even in my top 5 at 5, we're going to talk about the mayor and the conversations he had and with the police and all this about trying to stop the violence. And the one institution that they did not include, that I didn't see, was the church. They didn't include the essential institution that influences black culture and black identity since its inception. But because someone doesn't like it, we'll just bypass it. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But that's what we do. And then when it doesn't work, we want to blame the same church for not stepping up and not doing their job, when in fact, it's not them, it's the people. And I knew Al would say it. I'll pass on the church. Church is about struggling. I'm good on it. Well, the church isn't about struggling. The church is about overcoming your struggle. Every single human being in the world is either coming out of a problem, going into a problem, or is in the middle of a problem. But it's coming. So I argue, well, I got to save my money. I tell people, if you got to save money, if you can only save $5 every time you get paid, save $5. I prefer 10 or 15%, but if you can only save $5, because at some point in your future, you're going to need some money, it is going to be more than $5. And it'll be there waiting for you. So when we talk about that, that's cute that we bash the church and bad things have happened to people because of people in church, and that's fine. The church isn't perfect, but that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. Miles said, I used to be heavy in the church because grandma and mama, but the more I looked into it, the more detached I became, not because of it, because how people use it for their own interests. Like what? Give me an example, Mal. Give me an example of how people use the church, and then give me an example of how people use it in your everyday life and at your job. And you know what you'll find out? The one thing they have in common is the people, not the institution. I'm using this as an example. It's not that Northwestern Mutual didn't honor your policy or do such and such. It's the person that works at Northwestern Mutual. Don't blame Northwestern Mutual. Blame the person. The church you went to, it's not the church or the person that did, it's the person that did it to you. Blame the person. Did y'all forget that all these entities and institutions are full of imperfect people that you expect to be perfect when you're not? So anyway, but I digress. It's going to be a great weekend. It really is. It's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be a great time. And when we come back, I want to dive into black people as a religious animal. The spiritual side. Because we talk about things that we miss, but we don't understand that that thing you're missing, it already resides inside. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Mike Spalding.
slowdowns across the system. Nothing major, though. We're seeing backups on 94 westbound starting at about 27th Street through the Stadium interchange. Looking like some State Fair traffic keeping things slow there. 4145 southbound, you'll be tapping the brakes starting at about Good Hope Road. It lightens up once you hit North Avenue. On the northbound side, you'll be slow from Watertown Plank Road through Burleigh. 43 southbound from Brown Deer Road to downtown. Heavy traffic volume there is keeping things slow. Right now, it's a 22-minute commute. A slowdown there of about 10 minutes. Mostly clear skies overnight tonight, low 74 degrees. Tomorrow, hot and humid for your Saturday. Chances of some evening showers, a high of 94 degrees. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop, must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HD TVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit 3rdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
An unsuspecting driver at a gas station in Wisconsin.
Welcome, Pump 15. How you doing?
Great.
Were you wearing your seatbelt today?
I never wear my seatbelt.
We're going to get him. We're going to get him real good.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Donald Driver. It takes 1 second to strap a seatbelt on. Well, let's do this. Let's do it together. Now, don't that feel better?
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways.
And I should have recognized your voice when you're harassing.
I'm watching you.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
And what are some of the ways that you're inspiring people? Because, you know, one of the biggest opportunities, in particular in the African-American community, is access, exposure, and awareness.
For Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, we've been here 76 years.
Wow.
And our mantra is saving the lives you love. So if someone you love needs a blood transfusion and they're in any hospital in Southeast Wisconsin here, that blood's coming from us. And so we're trying to make sure that we're communicating that, because I think folks maybe don't understand that blood can't be manufactured. And summers are always tough because schools are out and we collect about 20 to 25% of our blood from schools. Mm-hmm. So it's always a day-to-day struggle. We say that the blood that's on the shelves is the blood that saves lives. And a lot of times people are compelled to donate when something bad happens. And our mission and our job is to educate folks so that we can get ahead of the curve and keep 3 days of inventory on the shelves. Mm-hmm. So we're in a decent spot right now, but we're on the streets every day trying to inspire people to join our mission. One of our big projects that we're proud of is Versity on King, which is part of the Thrive On collaboration in the Gimbel Schuster building on Martin Luther King Drive. And next year, we're going to open a destination center there. It'll be a blood donation center, but it'll be more than that, because we've realized that we can't be transactional with our relationships in the Black community. We need to do things that are intentional and that show that we're there to stay. But the reason that we're there is because not enough people that look like us donate. And so for disorders like sickle cell disease that disproportionately affect us, the race can matter. But I like to say that, Black folks have a superpower in their blood. 44% of Black blood donors will have this rare trait that makes their blood more likely to be able to be a match for a sickle cell patient. And that 44%, that is way higher than what we would find in other races.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
The Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Preseason football is back in Green Bay as the Packers will welcome in the New York Jets on Saturday evening to Lambeau Field. Head coach Matt LaFleur talking about the risk of playing his starters in the preseason.
There's a lot of injury data that supports playing guys in the preseason in regards to reducing the injury risk early into the season.
Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. at Lambeau Field. And lastly, we'll head over to baseball as the 70-44 first-place Milwaukee Brewers will begin a 3-game series at American Family Field, hosting the New York Mets. Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Brew Crew. That first pitch is set for 7:10. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Every time I start to play some music, something comes over and it takes my attention away. And I go, wait, what? So there's breaking news out of Georgia. There's an active shooter reported on campus at Emory University in Georgia. So we're going to be keeping tabs on what's going on with that. I just kind of looked down and went, what? And sure enough, it came over my phone. And as soon as I did it, I went, wow, that's, that's interesting. So we'll be keeping tabs on that and making sure that you get all the information you need regarding that. So if you know of anyone that's in Georgia, Emory University, there's reports of an active shooter. Unfortunate. That's just unfortunate. Because it's Friday. I clicked it to play the music, and it still didn't play. It's Friday. That's all I can say. It's just one of those days. And so it's time to move forward. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me check the talk and text line. Matt said, what about Moss? I don't know what you mean. What do you mean about Moss? Same thing. When I talk about spirituality, I'm talking about those religions that black people have not majority, but the most membership in, which would be the Black Christian Church and Moss. Is anything gonna work today? See, now I'm like, now I gotta find out. So I tell you. Now I'm just clicking. Let me see if this plays. Let's see. Nope. Nothing in here is playing off the board. So I guess you'll be having to do music. Get it from my stack. Not that esoteric mumbo jumbo. Wait, I got to come up with the name of it.
You literally play the same music I play.
That is not true. But I got to put your name in it. Exoteric mumbo jumbo music. Exoteric mumbo. Yeah. We'll go with it. 833-212. Hey, it's Friday. We're just having a good time. So getting back to this. Christianity was used as a means of resistance, in that we met in the black church. We met in places to gather information, to garner information. You even see it in the 70s and 80s with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Like you saw black people who know internally that there's something bigger than us. There's something greater than us, that there are things in the universe, things in the world, things around us that could not occur by chance. That what scientists talk about things occurring by happenstance literally could not occur. That something or someone had to start it, had to spark it. But I'm not here to get into an argument over religion and science, because most of the science, I believe, is confirmed, just like religion is. So that's not my fight. My fight is the resistance piece. One of the reasons why the black church is different from other churches is because we look at theology, Christian theology, as a theology of freedom, justice, and hope. So when Scripture talks about a man being free, he's free indeed. And that justice, that you reap what you sow, and that there's hope for eternal life, that is what theology is to us. So when you're enslaved, Christianity gave us a reason to keep going forward. It enabled us to be able to make it through knowing that our children would have better. I think that broke down when the church broke down. When the church changed and became what they wanted the people to become. Did I say that right? When the church changed and became what the people wanted it to become, it, I believe, went down. There was no real reason to go, no real reason to be, when it was the same over and over and over and over. And you can put all the windows and the lights and the screens and the singing and all that, but in the end, if I can't get from it what I want, I'm not going to go. So I was telling somebody about Milwaukee, and you know, Milwaukee has that generational preacher, right, in sections. And so you had the older boomer preacher, right? The John McVickers and the Bishop Hines and the, you know, Bishop McCullen and all. You got all these older Church of God in Christ, Baptist preachers, AME Church, right? And you got that age bracket where the youngest of them now are probably around 60. And then you got this younger preacher that's in his 50s, 40s, maybe late 30s, that everybody, oh, I got to go there because they're that age. Well, these older preachers, these elders, are now understanding and know it because they did it. They came up in a time when the older preacher was moving out of the way and they were coming in and taking over churches and building ministries and all that stuff. And now we've got that same thing going. So when I hear somebody younger than me come in and say, well, I go to church over here because, you know, they have a different word. And I'm like, well, it's not different. It's just presentation. Here's the problem with that. We tend to want to hear from people who are the same age as us who don't have the experiences of the older person. So some of the advice they're giving you really isn't sound. In other words, if you're in a place where you're the smartest person there, you're in the wrong place. But yet that is what people do. I got a younger person. They look like me. They're about my age. They're saying the stuff. They're not saying anything different from any preacher prior to them that said. There's no difference, even in a mosque. There's no difference if I'm coming from the same place. But what is it supposed to be? What does that particular Negro church supposed to be? It is our most potent and one of the most long-lasting organizations in black communities. We should have an ordinance that says every time you open a liquor store, you got to open 2 churches. Or you got to open a church and a mosque. Something. So now that's the lens most black people look through until probably the early, I would say 2015, 2020. And then after COVID, whatever sped up that process of going to church died. And now the only people that go to church are the people that want to go to church. People don't see any utility in it. They don't see anything that they can get from it. And so they walk away. Technology has helped with that. Some people have transferred over. You know, the T.D. Jakes of the world have transferred over and created multiple outlets, same message. So then what happened? Well, one telltale sign is the change in music. And when we come back, we'll look at the music piece as it relates to the legacies that were left. We'll look at the spiritual and how it changed how we look at the world. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. 833-212-1017 is the number. We come back out, kind of peek at the chat and the talk and text line, see what's up.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee, it's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can hear what the future leaders of the world have to say. Truth Nation, I'm proud to present the 8 Block, powered by City on the Hill and 1017 The Truth, hosted by me, your boy, Ben Jammin. Every other Saturday at 9 a.m., 8 Milwaukee teams will share stories and laughs that will speak truth to what matters most in their lives.
I'm here to discover different levels about myself.
I'm really here to get my name out there and have a different perspective on life.
So tap in every other Saturday at 9 a.m. Truth Nation, welcome to the 8 Block.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Literally one call, that's all. I made one call and that's all, worry-free.
One call, that's all. It worked.
Just one call and that's all.
They will do what they say they're gonna do. One call and that's all.
One call, that's all means security.
It's literally one call, that's all.
It's a phrase we'll never forget. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You hit the library. Shh, hard. And keep your eyes on the prize. Also, one day you can earn that bachelor's. Finishing what you start where you want, that's worth working for. And here is how you get there. Here at MATC, where smart programs prep you for next level challenges. Earning your bachelor's can start right away. And graduation is just the beginning. Here's to an education that takes you farther. Here's how you get there. Here at matc.edu/get there.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
There's a way that not mine only. I will touch the skies the way that
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. That's trash music. I don't know what that is. Like, that's what I was telling you. That's not the. I have music in my stack. That music is not in mine. I've been telling you that music is in my stack. And you know that. You just playing this track. You did. I told you. Hey, DJ Brother Z, didn't I tell him music was in my stack? I got a stack of music for my show. He know that. Yes. You did. I told you. Turn that crap off. You're not playing that garbage. That's garbage. He play music like I like. No, you don't. That's trash music. What is that?
I'm losing faith in you.
No, you're not losing faith in me. I don't care if you have faith in me. That's trash music.
You're wrong.
I don't really care what you think. It's trash music. We gonna flip and I'm gonna produce the show one time and then I'm gonna play music for you. Yeah.
I love that.
No, you wouldn't, because I'm not gonna let you do my show. I heard that, DJ Brother Z. Yes, we're just here acting silly. We're just acting silly. Who was that, by the way?
Freddie Gibbs.
Who the heck is Freddie Gibbs?
And the Alchemist.
I don't care. Don't
A
ever play
legendary
him on-
hip hop producer.
Don't ever. I don't care about that music. Stop. I don't care. I don't.
You
no.
like 90s hip hop, right?
You're not hearing me. No, that's it. I don't understand why we're having a conversation. No.
Freddie Gibbs, the Alchemist.
I said no. No. You want to fight?
Yes, I do.
You want to fight?
Today, yes.
You want to fight? Huh? See, he think he tough. Last time y'all ran in here, come on. Come on. It's Friday. Come on. Come on. Mm-hmm. Nah. Come in here, playing that Freddie. Who the heck is, nobody care about that garbage. Garbage music. Hip hop 19. Get out of here.
Well, that's 2025.
I'm not asking you for your conversation, man. You want to fight? You want to fight? Just because you got 2 earrings on? I don't want to hear it. 833. Yeah, is this something to argue about? I don't know. It's Friday. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm telling you, playing that kind of music. Boy. So you wait till play something else on the next break. See what happens. It's going to be a fight next time. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I was wondering when you was going to call.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, man, happy Friday to you. Do you think we have enough churches, considering you have them like on pretty much every corner?
They're not pretty much on every
black
corner.
Communities.
They're not pretty much on every corner. And I don't hear people complain about liquor stores like that. Liquor stores do significantly more damage in the black community, and payday loan stores. They do significantly more damage in the black community. But I don't ever hear anybody saying they got too many in our community.
Well, I also talk about the liquor stores too, because in like my community, you have like about 5 liquor stores within a 2-block radius.
Yeah, but you don't talk about them the way you talk about religion in the church.
No, yes I do.
No, you don't. I ain't never heard you. You ain't said that. Yes, I do. Laurent said, "Play some Taylor Swift." Lord. Anyway, go ahead.
And then my other question is how do you feel about voodoo, hoodoo, and witchcraft?
I am not a purveyor of voodoo, hoodoo, or witchcraft. I am not even though it is rich in my African heritage, I don't necessarily prescribe to it at all. I don't think that it is sound. I think it's part of the dark arts and dark magic, and I'm not into that.
Okay. So do you feel that the dark art can be good in a way if you use it in the right manner?
I don't think there's a right manner to use anything that's dark in a good way.
Okay. All righty.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
And have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't really think I get where he's going. I get it. And I'm actually inclined to agree with him to a point. But let's get back. According to Du Bois, in rural and underdeveloped area, the black preacher was frequently the only accessible intellectual presence. The question is, did that preacher have the training? That's where the phrase jackleg preacher came from, the preacher that was self-taught. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you're self-taught the right thing. But in serving as a moral compass and community leader, the preacher commands respect and shapes public opinion. And as I said before, in relation to politics, social, and spiritual influence. To a point, social, definitely spiritual, political, absolutely not. And I think that's one of the things that when you have a First Amendment right to express your religion, then you can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and express your religion in a way that suits you. And if it's dark magic, voodoo, hoodoo, or whatever, Santeria, hey, it's on you. But don't bash somebody else who believes something different. And I don't have a problem with proselytizing, somebody trying to get you to see their faith and their way. I'll do the same thing. I think when it comes to mutual respect, I think that's what's most important. And so that encapsulates the person, I believe. It encapsulates the person in understanding the power they have in the community. So what he's showing is that in the black community, the power really was the church. One of the longest lasting, most influential institutions in the African American community, and I would dare say today, is the church. And many of the other ancillary groups like Prince Hall Masons and fraternities and sororities, Divina, all espouse Christianity, even though some members are of different faiths. Many of them, those that I know of, are based on Christian values, Christian principles, Christian morals, and Christian ethics. As was America. But I wouldn't say America was necessarily started based on that. Many of the founders of this country were deists. They believed in God, but they were not necessarily Christian. We know Ben Franklin wasn't. But I digress. We got Top 5 at 5 coming up, and we'll start to talk about what we call the second heritage and church music or spirituals. And so the conditions of slavery, we'll talk about all where the music came from, the sorrow, the old, what we call Dr. Watts, those metered hymns where the cadence was all the same and the words just changed, but the music all kind of sounded the same. And I think people missed the message in the music. Because if you really think about it, all the music was scripture. They sang scripture. They used certain scripture to let people know we're leaving, certain scripture to know when we're going to meet, where we'll meet, all those things. So we'll dive into that after our Top 5 at 5. We'll look at the actual church and how it became the center of black life, how it was a place for self-governance that sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. And we'll examine the power that comes from the black church. And it's one of the things we need to discuss in terms of where is the place of the black church today.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, please join us at our third annual Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School. Admission to Truth Family Fest is absolutely free and a great place to have fun and celebrate with family and friends while also enjoying some great music and amazing food. Also, everyone in attendance will have a chance to win some great prizes, including backpacks for the kids, so make sure to save the date for our third annual Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School. Truth Family Fest is presented by Crash Course Driver Education Center and U.S. Cellular. Also sponsored by Landmark Credit Union, Milwaukee Public Schools, U.S. Bank, Gruber Law Offices, BMO, Big Frog, Milwaukee Area Technical College, Educators Credit Union, and Riverside University High School. Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School.
Maya is always on the move, and so is her money. Buy this here, deposit that there. She and her money are a lot to keep track of. Good thing Maya banks with Landmark Credit Union and uses their amazing mobile app. Maya checks her balance, deposits checks, pays bills, even transfers money between friends. So while Maya is coming and going, she can see her funds coming, going, and, best of all, growing. Landmark Credit Union. Banking made easy. Insured by NCUA.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop, must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. Third Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HD TVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. Third Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit thirdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. A former UW Eau Claire employee who claimed she was fired from her job within a campus diversity office because of her race receives a 6-figure settlement with the universities of Wisconsin. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reports Rochelle Hoffman will receive $265,000 from the UW Board of Regents as part of the settlement. Hoffman, who is white, claims she endured months of hostility and faced questioning over her legitimacy to lead a department supporting students of color. The UW system declined to comment on its decision to settle. Adding more police officers downtown is just one solution for curbing recent violence in Milwaukee. Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
Police are increasing enforcement of juvenile curfew and prohibitions of guns being carried within 1,000 feet of schools.
Other strategies include deploying drones, new hours for food truck operators on Water Street, traffic changes, and using a mobile booking site to assist with processing tickets and arrests. Yet another setback for a Sunderman stabber's conditional release. Community members in Sun Prairie are protesting after the location of Morgan Geisler's group home placement was unintentionally released. Geisler's defense attorney Anthony Cotton says he has zero concerns about Geiser being in the community.
She's going to be on GPS monitoring. She's going to be on home confinement. She's going to be treated by psychiatrists, evaluated by social workers. There's not a concern with Morgan being in the community. 3 doctors unanimously agreed with that. 2 different judges uniformly agreed with that.
Geiser and Anissa Wire were found not guilty by reason of mental defect for stabbing their classmate Peyton Leitner in Waukesha in 2014. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council Show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number before we get to the top five. Update from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, AJC.com. An active shooter has been reported on the Emory University campus, officials said. Few details were available, but released on a post on X that the school's Office of Critical Event Preparedness and Response alerted students and staff to an active shooter at Emory Point CVS. A later post from Emory College stated the shooter was on campus near Emory Point. The post reads, "Avoid the area, run, hide, fight." Emory Point is a mixed-use development where students often rent apartments. Clifton Road divides Emory Point from several university buildings and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Clifton Road from Briarcliff Road to Haygood Drive is shut down. That's according to Georgia Department of Transportation, and they are working to learn more. If you could see this picture on Clifton Road at CDC Parkway in Atlanta, you can see the sheer number of cars. You know, they have 511. And so if you understand 511 in Wisconsin, you can actually look at the traffic cameras that are on the interstates and in certain places throughout the state. And you can click the camera and see it. And there's a huge police presence there. And you've got officers standing behind cars with what looks like guns drawn. So, yeah, that's an active shooter that's going on down there. When we get information, you'll get it as well. 833-212-1017 is the number.
Number 5.
From CBS 58, the 90s are back. So I'm driving today, and I noticed, you know how you drive and you have the air conditioner on and you go, and sometimes you sit in the sun because it's midday, so there's really no way to hide from the sun. So if you're going north or south, the sun is like blazing in your car. And I have leather seats, so that's not a really cool thing to do. Anyway, that's why I keep a cloth over my seat. People are like, well, what's wrong with your seat? Is your seat split? I'm like, no, I have a cloth on my seat because my seats, when it's hot or cold, are hot or cold. And I have heated seats. But I'm not that bougie that I got a heated steering wheel, so, I've got to put gloves on. But what can you take off to get warm? Like, you can open up all your windows and keep the heat. Oh, well. You can open up and keep all the heat out, and it'll still be too hot. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, the 90s are back. It was 97 degrees. I was driving into Good Karma Brands at 3rd Street Market. 97 degrees. Well, we saw very few isolated sprinkles and downpours on Thursday, like they said. It's going to rain. I moved everything from outside, cleaned out all my stuff. No rain. Nothing. No clouds Friday morning. And then it got hot. They said it continued all day today with highs expected to hover around 90. Not true, because the further I got away from the lake, the hotter it got. It was 97 degrees in Sherman Park. Low 90s are expected on tomorrow, and then they drop a touch to the 80s. Really? So today's high is expected to be 91, Saturday 93, and then 85. 85 and 84 for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Humidity levels will stay steady and probably sticky. When you're in your car and you think you can let the heat out, when you've got the air blowing and it's still cold, but yet the heat's the sun's coming in and it's baking you. I give up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just stay in the house. I'm just not going to go anywhere.
Number 4.
This from fox6now.com. So you remember, if you die downtown, that counts for something. And if you don't die downtown, well, nobody really cares. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson held a news conference today to share information about steps being taken to address late night and early morning disorder and violence in the downtown area. Been here before. We saw this in the mid-2000s. Same thing. In recent weeks, multiple incidents have occurred. We've known that. We've talked about it here on 101.7 The Truth. Responses came from law enforcement, city departments. Mayor Johnson said the problems that have occurred from a minority of people, just a few people who are looking for trouble. Why aren't we doing this on the north side of Milwaukee? Why aren't we doing this on the near south side of Milwaukee? But like I said, you keep proving me right when I expect you to prove me wrong. Something happens downtown. Now all of a sudden there's this, quote unquote task force. Now there's this meeting. But I didn't see anybody from the church anywhere in these meetings. It's only the people that you think have a vested interest, not the people who can speak to the people who are causing the problem. They adjusted food hours for food trucks. They don't become gathering points on nights and early morning. So that's fine, but this is the same stuff y'all did when we ran Code Red out of District 1 downtown. Additionally, police are increasing the enforcement of juvenile curfew and prohibition of guns being carried within 1,000 feet of schools. There are also going to be some traffic changes, including flashing red light signals and restrictions on scooters in the downtown area. And none of that is going to stop somebody from duking it out and shooting somebody. Local businesses, they have been cooperating, and you're likely to see officers inside some of those businesses helping to keep order and provide a presence downtown. That's a problem because now your business gets to get a cop, and what about the other businesses who don't have a cop? Or are you just going to tell people to close up? Police are also using technology, including drone deployment, in order to see what's happening and speed up the response as well. Good. That's not going to change people's hearts and minds. People that are going to go bad and do bad are going to go bad and do bad. What needs to happen, and let me scroll through this story. Where is the district attorney and the city attorney? Where are they? Let's bring them in and let's say anybody that gets a ticket this night, if there's probable cause, arrest them and prosecute them. Period. Don't look for a way out. Don't look for a reason why they can get off. Don't look at it. That's their first offense. Give them the ticket. It's a civil matter. If it's a citation, let them pay the fine and be done. They add up. At some point, prior bad acts are going to play a part in sentencing. But if you don't start the bad acts, they can never be held against them. And so when you have people who flee, who are wanted for felonies and end up hitting trees and killing themselves, unfortunately, you can't expect a 17-year-old to have the emotional stability to even be chased by the police, let alone drive a car and have the experience to drive a car in a manner where it doesn't cause a crash. We have the pursuit policy for a reason. But yet everybody wants to question the pursuit policy, or you can ask the person, hey, don't flee. Like, why is that a problem? Don't flee the police. Well, I'm afraid of them. I am too. What's your point? As a cop for nearly 30 years, what's your point? If you follow the law, 9 times out of 10, it will work for you. But if you act foolish, it'll definitely come back and bite you. It will. It will. And I told you, all this stuff that's happening, Let me show you how it's going to go. Same thing I said before. Nothing's going to happen till something happens downtown, and then all of a sudden, or the wrong person's going to get, unfortunately, shot or killed or hurt, and then they're going to do something about it. Anything that stops downtown or makes downtown looks bad, now all of a sudden we want to call all the police. As long as you're shooting and killing each other on the north side, we're not going to care. If you're near south side, nobody's going to care. But let something happen south of Oklahoma Avenue, and there's heck to pay.
Number 3.
From WISN.com, Milwaukee alderman says no one called 911 after shots fired. And I thought, And then, of course, as soon as I looked at it, it was Alderman Peter Burgellis, who urged residents to call 911 when they hear gunshots. Well, surveillance video from where? 36 in Lakefield, south of Oklahoma, captured a shots fired incident early Thursday morning, and the video shows someone running up to an idling car and beginning to fire with clear muzzle flashes. Watching the video, it's obvious someone was firing a gun, but people in the neighborhood near Jackson Park said they heard it. They thought it was something else. One person said, I heard pop, pop, pop in a long session, and I thought, wow, was that gunfire? And then my second thought was like, fireworks. Neighbors decided not to call 911 to report shots fired because we know that can't happen in their neighborhood. South of Oklahoma, it is what's known in law enforcement parlance, God's country. Nothing happens down there. That's why District 6 never had enough cops to man the... They didn't have anyway. Lots of people heard the shots fired and nobody called 911, Wayne Hoskins said, figuring they were fireworks. Milwaukee police eventually shut down the block to investigate a car riddled with bullet holes and shell casings left behind, but not until more than 6 hours later. Alderman Peter Burgellis said officers didn't know the shots fired incident occurred until a woman walked into District 6 to report it. So how would they know it unless somebody told them? Like, that comment doesn't even make any, well, police didn't know until somebody told them. Really? Burgellis said he has heard many reports of people using illegal fireworks in the neighborhood and understands our residents confuse the sound of gunfire. You know what it sounds like you need down there, Alderman? Shot spotter. Oh, that's right. We got shot spotter. We only put it in those neighborhoods. You know, the north side neighborhoods. Yeah. Okay. Well, they don't know. Now, on the north side, you would chastise people for not calling in 911 calls for shots fired. You should know better. You're trying to hide. Well, maybe some of those people were trying to. Anyway. The point is, law enforcement needs to know, Burgellis said. This time, no one was injured, apparently, but that may not be the case next time. Hey, Peter, did you say that about the north side? You're an alderman in the city of Milwaukee. Yeah. As usual, nothing happened. You know, this next story brings a new meaning. You ever heard this phrase? White power? Brings a new meaning to it.
Number 2.
From News1.com. In February 2023, 2 white supremacists were arrested over their plot to attack the majority black city of Baltimore by destroying a Maryland power grid that serves the Baltimore area. Yesterday, the man accused of masterminding the conspiracy to organize sniper attacks on electrical substations around Baltimore was sentenced to 20 years in prison. According to CNN, 30-year-old Brandon Russell, founder of the Florida-based neo-Nazi group Adam Waffen Division, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge James Bretter to 2 decades in lockup after being convicted of 1 count of conspiracy to damage an energy facility. Russell's girlfriend and co-conspirator Sarah Clendaniel of Cantonsville, Maryland, had already been sentenced to 18 years after she pled guilty in regarding her role in the plot. Bredar said that the U.S. District Judge said Russell should receive a longer sentence than his partner in white and disgruntled crime because he was more culpable and contributed to the intellectual horsepower that brought the plot closer to being executed. Wow. Interesting. The judge stated at the sentencing hearing that Russell and Clendaniel sought to create their own bizarre utopia populated by people who only look and think like they do. He continued to say, well, that's not how it works. The law doesn't permit that. We don't change course in this country via violent overthrow. Not only did the judge impose a maximum sentence on Russell, but he sentenced him to a lifetime, get this, a lifetime of supervised supervision, including monitoring of Russell's electronic devices. This guy's going to be under surveillance for the rest of his life. It's worth mentioning that Russell's attorney argued that it was actually Clendaniel who posed the larger threat between the two. Watch this. You ready? Of course it is. You know, she talked him into, honey, you know we don't want those people around here. What are you going to do for me? Are you going to protect me? Are you going to protect our unborn children? We want to make sure we grow up in a world that is all white. We can't. Hey, behind every good man, there's a good woman, and behind every bad man, there's a... Anyway, I'm just saying.
Number 1.
Speaking of double standards, from TheRoot.com, a former CBS Boston anchor is suing her former place of employment, but here's why. Per court documents obtained by the Boston Herald, Kate Merrill, white female, is alleged that she was pushed out of her job at WBZ TV in Boston, a position she held for 20 years, and she's suing her former job over claims of racial and gender discrimination, of which she alleges stemmed from DEI hiring policies. Her lawsuit reads, in early 2020s, WBZ TV adopted diversity, equity, and inclusion policies imposed by parent corporation CBS, Columbia Broadcasting System, and Paramount Global Incorporated. In 2024, they exploited such policies and took career-ending action against Ms. Merrill to advance a DEI agenda. Specifically, the suit references an incident between her and black WBZ TV meteorologist Jason Michael, in which she stated she texted him during a break to correct him on the proper pronunciation of some local cities he had allegedly said wrong on the air moments before. For context, Merrill claims Michael came to her for previous help with the matter. Well, that text didn't sit well with Michael, and the suit claims he confronted her and yelled at her on the studio floor and asserted she was being critical of him because, you know, this generation can't take criticism at all. His tone was aggressive and unprofessional. She lodged a complaint with Human Resources with WBZ. And additionally, Merrill allegedly filed a second claim against Michael after she claimed he made an on-air comment that suggested she slept with a coworker in a gazebo. Okay, that's kind of weird. But instead of looking into the incident, they investigated her and said that she treated her coworkers differently because of their race. Another alleged is now. Here's my question: don't we all treat people differently because of their race? Don't we all do that? We all do that. We treat people differently because of their race. As a result, Merrill was made to complete unconscious bias training and obtained a written warning. Shortly after, the suit alleges Merrill was demoted from her position as co-anchor on WBZ This Morning and WBZ at noon to work the night shift on weekends. She ultimately decided to resign from her job near the end of May 2024, citing catastrophic damage a demotion would have caused on her career, especially in the context of allegations that she was racist. Now, the issue was the suit alleges that she suffered significant financial loss and significant reputational harm due to the fact that her employment contract didn't end until June of 2025, this year. And she was also under a non-compete. This essentially meant she couldn't do similar work in her industry until the agreement was over. In defense, the suit goes on to describe the relationship between Merrill and her black colleagues. It explains that she regularly befriended them, regardless of their race, and made it a point to keep herself educated on issues of systemic racism, microaggressions, something I completely disagree with, microaggressions, anyway, and unconscious bias, at which everybody is unconsciously biased. I admit it freely. She is anti-racist. The anti-racist is suing them for $4 million. That CBS, Paramount, then General Manager Justin Draper, then VP of Employee Relations at Paramount, Michael Roderick, are all named as defendants in the suit. Of course, nobody wanted to talk about it. So I guess the question you have to ask yourself is, doesn't everybody have a right? Don't civil rights extend to everyone, not just black people? Interesting. 833-212-1017 is the number. Mackie on the YouTube chat said, could you dedicate a few broadcasts to discuss how the imagery and actions of a few representing thug life violence, and criminality jeopardizes the safety of many law-abiding black men? Well, yes. But, yeah. We'll have to talk about that. Hey, what's up? Not really a city girl. What's up, Mal? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Because throughout the day, many black people are stopped by police and released by police and nothing happens. We only remember the ones that go bad. But out of the 600,000 cops and whittle it down to a traffic stop on the north side of Milwaukee that happens on a daily basis and nothing happens, we have to include those when we look at the other side of something going bad. Now, it sounds like what you're talking about is the media and the journalists and how they write stories that only show black males in a negative light, which I believe is true. I've been hoping people would prove me wrong, but that hasn't happened. And Daniel, we're going to block you from coming on as well because I don't like Freddie Gibbs. I don't care. It doesn't matter what you care about or what you like or what you think. He's never going to be played on my show. I will never push a button that'll play Freddie Gibbs ever again.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, my name is Noor, and I am proud to be a Riverside University High School Tiger. As a rising sophomore, I am excited to get involved in many opportunities. RUHS offers like advanced placement classes, sports, and student council. But what I love about Riverside most is that Riverside University High School makes everyone feel welcome and provides students with lots of opportunities. On Saturday, August 23rd, from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, join us at Riverside for the Truth Family Fest. We will have entertainment, food trucks, and vendors. See you there.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Bike crash? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All right. Put your hands together in this place.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. You know, for over 10 years, Crash Course has actually helped new drivers thrive, proudly serving southeastern Wisconsin with integrity, innovation, and a commitment to safety. They offer programs for both teens and adults, led by state licensed, safety-focused instructors with flexible school-based pickups in communities across southeastern Wisconsin. Crash Course makes getting started simple and stress-free. Crash Course, the best choice driving school. Trusted by thousands. Visit crashcoursewi.com. That's crashcoursewi.com to enroll today. 833-212. What you mean nobody cares? Turn on the microphone and talk.
I'm sorry, that white woman. I was on my way back from IKEA in Oak Creek, and I said I gotta stop in because Dr. Ken, don't nobody care about them white girl tears. You got demoted. You old. You suck. That's what happened.
So that's what you think about me? I'm old and I suck.
You not old. She old. Well, you old, but she old and suck.
Ah!
You old and
you
good.
Want to fight? You want to fight?
No, you're old, but you're good. She old, but she sucks. That's the whole thing. Is people start crying, "Oh, I got demoted. I had to work on the weekend." So that's life. That's life ain't gonna be perfect. See, that's that Gen X energy, or is she a baby?
Of course she Gen X. Of course she Gen X. Boomer would have went bet. I get paid the same, and you want me to work
$4 million?
Bye.
She made $4 million probably in what? 30 years?
No. She gonna get paid. You know she gonna
get paid.
You just.
If Good Karma Brands ever demotes me, I know that I have a case. I'm gonna say that it was racism, ageism, colorism, dreadism, all type of ism. I'm gonna sue for $4 million.
You know, those are my cases, not yours. Ageism.
Tag team then. Be blessed.
Later. Have a good weekend. Y'all see what I got to put up with Kyle? He be screaming every single day, Monday through Friday, from 12 to 1. Y'all got him. See, they gave Kyle, they could only give him an hour because he complained so much. Y'all said I complain. Ooh, Lord. You ain't doing nothing at lunch, just turn on 1017 The Truth or go to YouTube and turn on Kyle and he'll ooh, yeah. But no, seriously, and with all due respect, getting back to our topic. You know, we've been talking about W.B. Du Bois all week. We've been talking about some of the things that have caused, I believe, the black community to spiral. And one of those things, and the reason why it's happening, is because of the church. When I say the church, I mean the Christian church, the mosque, whatever denomination you are, that the spiritual side of black America has vanished. The respect for the imam, the respect for the pastor has vanished. We've gotten into materialistic fights over should women preach, men preach, this, that, hierarchical, this. And at some point, we have to wake up and understand that we need sound moral and intellectual leadership in relation to everything we do. That means that whoever's going to pastor or lead you not only has to be well-versed in their particular theological bent, but they need to be intellectually honest in everything that they understand about the world, about math, reading, writing, arithmetic, economics, all those things, banking, you need to either understand it or you need to be able to send them to somebody to understand it. And that's not something that's being done. He notes that certain churches experience internal strife, materialism, particularly because they became wealthier and more hierarchical. There are some things about America, especially black, that I used to take at face value. But as I read through those books on the list that I gave you, if you just text chapter and you'll get the 5 books, text chapter, CHAPTER, to 833-212-1017, and you'll take a look at that list. When you start reading some of these books and they talk about the churches they went to, many of wealthy black people, no disrespect, but many wealthy black people became Episcopalian. Because the Episcopalian church doesn't have a lot of the it's not a barrier. Borders. right? Inside or outside, they're a little more liberal than most churches, as long as you give money. So it tends to be, and I know I'm not bashing Episcopalian. I'm saying that materially, as we move through life, it's represented by where we go to church, even our age, our race. Remember, Sunday morning is the most segregated time of the week. We love each other. We hug. We hang out. We party. We do this. And then when we go to church, we go to an all-black church or an all-white church or predominantly white church or predominantly black church. What is that? Well, part of that is the leadership spiritually that people look for. It's inherent in human nature. We look for things where it's like us. We circle around those things that look like us. And I get it. I understand it completely, but that's just one of those things. That's what we do. We as human beings tend to look for people that look like us. We tend to hang out with people who look like us. But why is it we can hang out with people that look like us or don't look like us, but we never do it when it comes to church? Like, people don't wake up and go, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go to an all-black church. And I'm white, or I'm Hispanic, or I'm Asian. We don't. Black people don't wake up and go, I'm going to go to an all-white church today. We don't. We don't. We want energy. We want enthusiasm. We want praise and worship. And many times, you don't get it at that level. But then I've been at some white churches where they eschew, that emotional stuff doesn't matter. Well, you didn't have to go through what we went through to get where we are. So I know you can't understand it because you've never had to go through that. You just kind of went through your struggle, but your struggle was not steeped in slavery, in poverty. Not because you wanted it, but because other people lorded it on you. That's different. It's not like people chose to be poor. They stopped you from becoming wealthy. That's a different fight. A totally different fight. And until we come to grips with that, there's always going to be a separation. There's always going to be that difference in people. And until we decide to change it, none of that's going to happen, and none of it's going to change. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Mike Spalding.
A few slowdowns remain across the system. Eastbound 94, you'll see some slowdowns right around the stadium interchange. This is right where State Fair Park is, which makes perfect sense. A lot of people heading to the State Fair for the beginning of the final weekend. On the westbound side of 94, from downtown out to the zoo, you're in good shape. You might see a little slowdown around the stadium and zoo interchanges, but nothing out of the ordinary. 4145 southbound between Highway Q and the zoo interchange, that's where you'll find your biggest slowdown of the afternoon. Right now, between Good Hope Road and North Avenue, you're going to be on your brakes quite a bit. Southbound 43, some good news there. Volume has lessened. Travel times are back to normal. Mostly clear skies overnight. Tonight, a low of 74 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly hot, humid, sunny. A chance of some showers late into the afternoon. A high of about 94 degrees. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Escape to paradise this summer at Chula Vista Resort in Wisconsin Dells. Spacious accommodations, perfect for families or romantic getaways. Voted top 10 best water parks in the U.S., championship golf, the longest zip line in the area, and the #1 steakhouse in Wisconsin. Book a Chula Vista Resort all-inclusive package now at 1-800-388-4782 or visit chulavistaresort.com. Your summer paradise awaits.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns. It's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Ben Jammin with his truth.
Truth Nation and all the juicy jammers out there, can I be real with you for a second? We live in a world that's obsessed with right now. But God doesn't do right now. God does right on time. Psalms 27 verse 14 says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart." Truth Nation, there was a time in my life where I felt completely stuck. I couldn't find a job to save my life. I'm talking interview after interview. And my gas tank was always on empty. Just pure struggle. I hated it. Then I finally caught a break. One morning, I got offered a job at the Hilton Hotel. All I had to do was sign my paperwork at 10 a.m. and I'd have a job. Only thing was, I didn't have the gas to get there. So I made a plan. Wake up early, Benjamin. Go donate plasma, Benjamin. Just to get $50. Yes, Benjamin. Buy yourself some gas and pay your phone bill. Now, I hated donating plasma, but it was my only means of income. The plan sounded simple, right? But everything went wrong that morning. From no gas in my car, to the donation of my plasma at the plasma center, to me not getting a job at the hotel because I was late. I remember crying out to God, "What do you want from me?" Now, a week had went by, and a good friend looked at me and said, "Benjamin, you can't rush greatness." And you know what? My friend was right. Because if I had got what I wanted at that time, working at the hotel, then I wouldn't be over the radio talking to you all each and every day, letting y'all know how amazing you all are. So if you're waiting for your moment, feeling drained, literally or spiritually, don't quit. Don't rush what God is still preparing. Because sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
The Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Preseason football is back in Green Bay as the Packers will welcome in the New York Jets on Saturday evening to Lambeau Field. Head coach Matt LaFleur talking about the risk of playing his starters in the preseason.
There's a lot of injury data that supports playing guys in the preseason in regards to reducing the injury risk early into the season.
Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. at Lambeau Field. And lastly, we'll head over to baseball as the 70-44 first-place Milwaukee Brewers will begin a 3-game series at American Family Field, hosting the New York Mets. Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Brew Crew. That first pitch is set for 7:10. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
That's right, that's right. Put those hands together all over this place. We come to praise him, and lift him up because he's worthy to be praised.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. You know, August is Black Business Month, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth is teaming up with Associated Bank to celebrate the excellence of Black-owned businesses in our community. Together, we're committed to uplifting local organizations and supporting Black business. This is why Carrie Noni will be hosting a Black Business Spotlight Show on Tuesday, August 26th from 6 till 7 p.m. immediately following Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. She will spotlight 3 locally owned Black businesses and tell their stories of success. Whatever your financial needs are, Associated Bank can help. Member FDIC. 833-212-1017 is the number. So we've been talking about W.E.B. Du Bois's Chapter 10 on the faith of our fathers. And one of the things I want to push and stress this is by no means meant to offend or cause anybody any undue discomfort or anything of that nature. And so when we talk about the church being the center of Black life, self-governance, education, social organization, cultural preservation, when political power and social equality are lacking. Well, first of all, I believe you'll never have social equality. There will never be anything that's called social justice. You're never going to get it. Anybody that's in charge of anything, that's like being in your house and there's a hierarchy and your grandparents are going to give you social justice. Not going to happen. Why? Because there's a hierarchy. And the elder and those that are in the majority will always be in charge. So, number one. Number two, asking someone else to give you something that they themselves will never give makes no sense to me. Number three, we're never going to want to be, most black people want to be in majority white culture anyway. I mean, let's have a real conversation. Majority whites want to be around majority whites and majority blacks want to be around majority of blacks, and that's just how it is. And that's nature. We always seek what looks like us. And it's okay. As long as you recognize that. As long as you believe that. However, he's not uncritical. He notes that certain churches experiences internal strife, materialism, like we said, and we're looking for some sound level of moral and intellectual leadership. But in spite of that, faith is the most powerful and necessary thing in the Black experience. Belief. We can split hairs on what. We can say what's more important and what's not. We can split hairs on why we think this religion is more important than that, or that denomination is more important than that. But if you're going to develop and you're going to survive, you're going to need faith for those. And the power, the justice, and the fraternity that it brings, the belonging, the oneness that it brings to a community, by far supersedes anything else we've done in the African diaspora. That's just me. You can disagree. 833-212-1017. You can disagree. But faith is the most powerful, the most necessary thing in the Black experience. It grounds you. It keeps you significantly stable in all that you do. It keeps you from wandering into areas like committing crimes, acting a fool, going downtown and shooting, going in the neighborhood. Like growing up, the church was everything. There are certain things you wouldn't even think about doing around church. Now, nobody really cares. And it's unfortunate. It really is. It's really unfortunate because in the end, the only damage we do is to us. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, it's easy to trust Pella. Every piece is significantly and specifically constructed for you and your home, always designed with innovation, rigorously tested for quality and performance to last for years, and built to create long-term energy savings. Today is the 8th. You got till the 10th. You can stop by Pella's booth at the Expo Center at the Wisconsin State Fair. That's now through August 10th. You got 2 days. And if you order by August 31st, you get 0% interest up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today. That's PellaWI.com.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
Be careful of the decisions that you make and the company that you keep, because that is going to determine a certain consequence. So you don't have to wait to go to prison, or you don't have to wait to figure it out what the consequences may be. All you got to do is look at your decision making and who you allow in your space. If they making wild decisions, wild things gonna happen. But you don't get to choose what wild things are gonna happen.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Saving energy and money is easier than you think. Here are 2 simple things you can do to reduce your energy use and lower your energy bill. Use thermal curtains to reduce each room's energy loss by up to 25%, and make sure vents aren't blocked by furniture or rugs to improve airflow and comfort. Simple, smart savings. Get more energy-saving tips at WeEnergies.com.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, August 14th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Jackson Park, Picnic Area 2, located at 3500 West Forest Home Avenue, and at the Basilica of St. Josephat, located at 2333 South 6th Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments while supplies last. Brought to you by Common Council President Jose G. Perez and Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work, no.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Remember, you can text chapter to 833-212-1017. The, data and text may apply, so it's not on me. But make sure you text it and you can get the list we talked about, the 5 books that we are going to be talking about probably in the coming months or so. So just make sure you check it out. Major Mike, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm fine, Doc. First thing I want to do right now is I owe you an apology. I owe you an apology because when we went through the political season, you skillfully went through, and I didn't know where you were really coming from. I listened to your counterparts, etc. But let me tell you, when you said today faith is all we have, you hit it on the button, and I can't say anything beyond that because I'm looking at it universally. I'm looking at it from a management, from a manufacturing, from all different races in this hyper-segregated Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then when I look at that, you can't blame it. You usually say, well, I hope it was not us, not them. Then that doesn't matter. It's all of us doing,
You're right.
As a people, So I just want to apologize. I coined globe head and whatever, and I come at you. But when you said what you said today about faith, man, that was it. You got me as a solid listener. I thank you. Good job, Doc, and thank you for everything you did right here on this comparison on the talented 10th. And, Dubois, I never thought both. I thought one or the other. You see, my paper was a long time ago, but you brought something different. So thank you, Doc, and that's just a compliment to you. Have a good day. Be blessed, bro.
Well, thank you. You too. Now, let me throw one thing in. His name is not Dubois. Okay. It's Du Bois. He purposefully rejected the European side of his family. Oh. That's why he put the 2 words. Remember, Du Bois is 2 words. he put it together and made it DUBOIS.
You see what I'm saying, Doc? Remember back then when the only reference we had were those books, those encyclopedia books, and my dad had my house. That was all we had. Him arguing with Mark Belling and so forth was all I had.
Right.
Oh yeah, it was a great day because they respected each other.
Right. Absolutely.
But this new administration is a completely different animal.
All right.
So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Doc. You have a good day.
You too.
And a blessed weekend, sir.
You too. Be blessed.
All right. I'm coming at you, bro.
All right. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show's coming up next. I think we kind of made it through Friday. We kind of made it through the week. Thank you. This week was good. If you missed it, go back to Monday. We went through the souls of black folks. I'm still trying to come up with a title for the second hour.
Freddie Gibbs is the best.
Freddie Gibbs is the best is not the titles. That's dumb. Stop doing that. Dumb. He's not dumb. It was just a dumb comment. Because what I just said was a dumb comment too. So there you go. Hey, have a great day. And the title of the second hour, Be Blessed. Thank you, X. I'm out.
Be quiet.